Welcome to today's edition of Politics with Harpreet Singh. Toor, आप सबनु प्यार भरी सत श्री अकाल, नमस्कार, आदाब and shalom. Um, we actually have a very special guest today among us. Not only ex-councilwoman, but also ex-Queensborough president, who actually did a lot of things for Sikh community, not just the Sikh community, but other communities also, because Queensborough happens to be one of the most diverse place on the planet Earth. And she had the privilege as well as honor to represent us, and we were honored to have her actually to be our president of the borough. And also when she was the president of the borough, there were things which she did, including celebrating Vaisakhi at Queensborough Hall. Now she has moved to become the DA, the district attorney, and of Queens. The duties have changed, but at the same time, she, like she always has been, determined to keep the relations with the communities at large, so that their concerns, their safety, and everything is looked at from their perspective, not from somebody's perspective who is sitting in the office. So first, let's welcome her, the Queen's Honorable District Attorney Melinda Katz. Thanks for coming in on the show, Honorable DA.
My pleasure, Harpreet, and thank you for the work that you have done for so many years in the community of Queens County and the Sikh community, but also really in general. It's an amazing borough that we live in. And the Sikh community has been such a large part of our borough's growth. And at the same time, you've been a large part of that. And so I want to thank you for all that you've done throughout the county. And just so you know, we are 200 languages and 190 countries. We are the most diverse area on the planet. And so all of us working together, making sure that we understand each other. The borough moves forward with all of our backgrounds. We are here in Queens County, but we should never forget our parents and their parents before them. And I think that's the great part of the borough, is we celebrate our differences and we celebrate our sameness, and we do it all together.
That is so true, because at the end of the day, we all look at a safe place where our kids can grow, have their education and everything, and grow to be somebody else down the road to serve the same communities which we are trying to serve and make this place better. During this pandemic, we are going to discuss few issues which now, not being the Queensborough president, but being the district attorney, your role is definitely different. Yes, because of the COVID, there are some issues regarding the increase in burglaries and also some increase in gun violence also. So can you go over the steps being taken to bring it down and tame it?
Sure. It's interesting because, this is my 11th month, Harpreet, as the district attorney of Queens County. In those 11 months, the bail laws of the state of New York have changed twice. The discovery laws of the state of New York have also changed twice. We got rid of a very onerous policy here at the Queen's DA's office that forced you to waive your grand jury rights in order to get a plea bargain. We have had a national conversation, which I think, by the way, was long overdue, about how we police in the United States of America. And at the same time, we've had a worldwide pandemic. And that was all in my first 11 months. So it has been quite the ride and quite the time. But, at the end of the day, this borough works together and stands together. We have had an uptick of shootings. Just so your listeners know, we have not prosecutions on guns or shootings or gun possession in the borough of Queens County because of COVID. But, everyone should realize this. We have gone from 100% here in the office to 100% virtual, to then back now to live, and then we're going back to virtual right now because we see an uptick in the disease. But at the same time, people are getting arrested every single day. You need to have your arraignments. You need to have your day in court for an indictment. Much of that has been listed by the executive order. But clearly it's a 700-person office. And it has been, I think, amazing, the work of the individuals that work here to make sure that this office keeps ticking.
Also, because of, whenever there is a downturn in economy because of whatever reasons, what happens is, some groups become open target, which I always call like, the Sikhs, Hasidic Jews, and Muslims, we just become a moving target for the people to pick up on. And there is definitely is a, little bit uptick on that part also. Any particular steps which your office is taking along with the NYPD to address those issues?
So when I got here, it was very interesting. The Hate Crimes Bureau and the Gang Bureau was one bureau in and of itself. It was combined. They are very different crimes, very different elements of the crime, very different ways to prosecute them. So I created a Hate Crimes Bureau to stand alone. And that bureau's sole responsibility is to make sure that anyone who is attacked because of their religion or ethnic background or who they love or whoever is attacked based on bias or discrimination, that there is a bureau designed specifically and knowledgeable and has the expertise to prosecute those crimes. But at the same time, Harpreet, I developed what's called the South Asian Advisory Council. So as we're prosecuting those that are attacking, and as
congratulations on that. I forgot to congratulate you on that. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's truly my pleasure. Where it's over 50 to 60 members of the South Asian community from Queens County who get on. Now it's a Zoom, and hopefully very soon it'll be in person. Who advise my office of what's going on in the community and what is needed. And I think that's really important. We need to be able to express information to the South Asian community, but they need to be able to tell us what their needs are too. I'll give you an example. There was at a mosque, a man was attacked for his vehicle, and the mosque members actually kept the man for the police to come. And, I showed up that next Friday at services so that I can assure the community that they'd be safe. As you know, I go to the Gurdwaras quite often. I'm very honored to be a guest at the Gurdwaras, and I'm happy to do that. But, this is also about community understanding and what we do and us understanding what happens in the community, which is why I'm very proud of the Hate Crimes Bureau.
Yeah, which is actually important, because just to assure the community that we are here with you to protect you, because I remember after Wisconsin shooting in 2012, at that time we had the Honorable Mayor Michael Bloomberg, and immediately there was extra police around the mosque and Gurdwaras, and he even came to Sikh Culture Society to talk about it. So it deters those people from committing further, nuisance, if I may say. Why they would do it, let's not even go into that. And there is one more concern, domestic violence is up and in South Asian because there are more people staying home, and those families who had domestic violence issues, there is a more increase in those violences. So from that, on that part, what exactly is advisable, and what exactly your office is doing?
By the way, you are absolutely right, and you've hit the nail on the head. We have domestic violence in this borough that we know is vastly underreported. And it is true. It's because people are quarantined. They're with their families. The abuser knows that there's not many places open. And also there's no way to reach the people that are abused, right? So normally the police would stop by and do wellness checks, for instance. They're not stopping by people's homes, not because they don't want to, because we do have a great number of police officers who work in the DV unit, the domestic violence unit, that are amazing. But, because of COVID, there's been a lack of stopping by. We had a case a few months ago where an abuser wanted to know where his wife was, right? Because while she was out a long time, and his reaction was, well, where were you? Everything's closed. Like, where could you possibly have been? So you are right that it's intensifying. And by the way, so is drug abuse, so are mental health illness. Any challenges you've had before COVID are multiplied during this quarantine. But domestic violence is underreported. And you add to that the inability to reach these individuals, right? You can't call them because their abuser is standing right next to them. You can't email because usually an abuser is looking at the email. So we created a hotline. The number for your listeners is 718-286-4410. 286-4410. If you call that hotline 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can ask for either social services, like you just want to talk to someone, you need something, you're worried about housing, you're worried about how you're going to feed your family if you leave, things of that nature. We can hook you up with them, or we can also hook you up to an assistant district attorney to talk to. So you have a choice, but we just want to make sure we're here for you.
There is, because being active within the communities, I know a lot of time we also get the call to go and try to sit down and try to find out what actually the reasons are, why it happened, it should not happen again. But there is one thing, which has been constant, and I'm hoping that if that change is not done yet, that down the road it will be done. Once the case is filed, the district attorney's office does provide the legal services to the victim, but there is no follow-up either from the DA's office or from NYPD, besides the case when goes to the court and whatever happens over there. So that is something which I hear back from some of the people, some of the victims, that they end up getting abused again because they find sometime helpless, even though the case was registered, perpetrator was arrested, but within some time, whatever it is, they come back home and they start doing it again, and they feel like helpless. Yeah, so that is something which I'm looking at, if there are any special cells or special actions which you will be taking to make that it doesn't happen that often.
So first off, if that's happening to anybody that you know or any of your listeners, I would like to know, and we can be of service always. The family justice.
I will definitely share that information with your staff member. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the Family Justice Center is created to be a wraparound type of service provider for domestic violence. And in addition to that, we have here at the DA's office something called domestic violence stat. DV stat. We follow up with the thousands of individuals who have reported domestic violence. Some of whom reported and don't want to press charges, and we know are still in danger. And so we do try and follow up. If it's not happening with individual cases, they should absolutely let us know. But this program has thousands of people in it. We do have a very strict protocol on how we contact these individuals to make sure that they don't feel alone. And I think you're right. With DV victims, quite often that's the feeling. And we want to make sure they know there are services available, that we are available, and that they can always turn to us. So, they should absolutely contact us.
Okay, and also there is one more thing. I'm pretty sure that you're about to run out of your time. Linguistically, how much your office is equipped to help linguistically the people who are not well versed in English or Spanish?
Well, we have translators. We also have a translation service. But whether you speak English or any other language of the 199 other languages spoken in this borough, we are equipped to help. Not only that, we also want to make sure that everyone is aware, because I never make this a secret, and I say it as many times as I can. Documented or undocumented, we are here to help. Nobody should feel abused. Nobody should be abused. Nobody should be taken advantage of by their employer. Nobody should be taken advantage of by their landlord. because of documentation status. If you report a crime, your status is absolutely of no significance to us. I actually hired, just so you know, Harpreet, an immigration attorney who works full-time at this office simply to make sure that there isn't unintended consequences that are happening with our cases, like deportation or other issues. So, you know, we really want to make sure we're open to everyone, and that this is a safe spot for victims to come, no matter what language and no matter what status they are.
And I think this is the first time there is an immigration attorney on staff with the DA, right?
It is the first time there was an immigration attorney here on staff at the district attorney's office, yes. And part of the reason is we look back at other convictions also. Mm-hmm. We've been looking back at other convictions that happened previous to me. And some folks are making applications to have them reviewed because of the documentation, because of the immigration consequences that those particular pleas or those particular convictions had on their life.
Okay, I know your time is up, you have to go, but I want you to give your final thoughts before you leave and your message to the community.
Well, first of all, I want to give you the hate crimes phone number. The direct line is 718-286-7010, 7010. That's the direct line to the Hate Crimes Bureau. Harpreet, I want to thank you for all the work that you've done in the community, but I really do have a message for the neighborhoods and the community in which who are listening. This has been some year. I mean, this has been a year that no one in their wildest dreams could ever have imagined. You know, we have people who are unemployed. We have folks that are trying to keep their jobs while doing homeschool learning with their children. We have people who are working while taking care of sick parents. It is an unprecedented time in the history of the world. So as we reach the new year, I wish everyone a very happy new year. I have to tell you, I'm not sorry to see 2020 go as fast as it possibly can. And that is in the hope of having 2021 to be a much better year for everyone. I thank the community for the support they've always given me and the welcoming that you've always given me in your places of worship, houses of worship, and in your homes. And I thank you for that.
No, I'm really honored to have you as one of the person who really cares about the humans, if I may say, because it doesn't matter what your faith is, at the end of the day, it is one fellow to another fellow, one human to another human, and you always work at that level, and I got to appreciate that, and thanks for giving the time. And looking forward to have you back sometime down the road again in 2021.
Anytime. I thank you, and Happy New Year to everyone.
Thank you. Same to you, and Happy Hanukkah again.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. That was Honorable District Attorney Melinda Katz, the Queen's District Attorney. She was talking about some of the issues. I will have her again down the road, but it's important what she talked about. The things which she talked about is domestic violence and hate crime. Excuse me. There's no doubt that Hate Crime Bureau, she has created a separate unit for hate crime. ਅਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜਾਂ ਹਸੀਡਿਕ ਜੂ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੇਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਔਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰੀਏ ਤੇ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਹੇਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਹੇਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੀਕਿਊਟ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਸੋ ਟੂ ਹੈਵ ਅ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਯੂਨਿਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਹੇਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਨੂੰ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਹੇਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਦੇਖਦਾ ਆ ਤੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਹੈਂਡਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਆ, ਇਟਸ ਵੈਰੀ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ, ਦੋਜ਼ ਪੀਪਲ ਦੇ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਅੰਡਰਸਟੈਂਡ ਕਿ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਵਾਕਈ ਹੇਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਹੈ। ਦੂਜੀ ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਉਸ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੀਕਿਊਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਹੇਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ, would they succeed in getting the prosecution done? ਔਰ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ, ਕਈ ਆਪਣਾ ਨਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੀਕਿਊਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ ਭਈ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੇਸ ਲਿਜਾਂਦੇ ਕੋਰਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਜੱਜ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਬਾਹਰ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਿੱਟ ਦਊ। ਜੱਜ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ court have their own rules and regulations. District attorney is there to prepare the case, and police is there to make the arrest. So these are three different branches, and all three, until and unless ਉਹ ਤਿੰਨੇ ਹੀ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਇੱਕ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ ਇਕੱਠੀਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਜਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣੀਆਂ ਨਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਚਿਰ to prosecute somebody, it's not easy. And that is the reason ਕਿ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੁਛ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਹੇਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਹੇਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਉਹ ਐਜ਼ ਏ ਹੇਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੀਕਿਊਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ, ਐਂਡ ਦੇ ਡੋਂਟ ਡੂ ਇਟ। ਸੋ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹ ਐਕਸਪਲੇਨ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਰੀਜ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਦੇਣੀ ਆ, ਕਰੈਕਟ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੂੰ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਸਟੈਪ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਆਉਂਦਾ, ਦੂਜਾ ਸਟੈਪ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਫਿਰ ਡਿਸਟ੍ਰਿਕਟ ਅਟਾਰਨੀ ਦਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੀਕਿਊਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਤੀਜਾ ਸਟੈਪ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੋਰਟ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੈ। ਸੋ these are the three steps, and we got to make sure ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਤਿੰਨੇ ਸਟੈਪ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੇ one by one we take care of those steps the way they should be taken care of. ਔਰ ਦੂਜੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇੱਕ ਹੇਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਡੋਮੈਸਟਿਕ ਵਾਇਲੈਂਸ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਚੱਲੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, I will try to get somebody who actually specializes in domestic violence. ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੰਨਾ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ domestic violence ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ it is happening, and I know certain people ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ it happens almost every other week or so. ਪਰ ਅਫਸੋਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨਾ women ਹੈ, they feel helpless. Sometimes it happens to men too. ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਆਦਮੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਡੋਮੈਸਟਿਕ ਵਾਇਲੈਂਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ, which is rare, but it does happen. So ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਾਂ ਪਈ there is no domestic abuse of the men, then I will be lying. So the fact actually is ਕਿ domestic violence ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨਾ it happens in both shapes. ਪਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਾ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ issues ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, we will discuss ਕਿ how to differentiate, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ it could be physical, it could be mental, it could be financial. ਔਰ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੋਰ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਜਾਣੀ ਕਿ ਕਈ ਡਿਸਟ੍ਰਿਕਟ ਅਟਾਰਨੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਂਡਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ ਹੇਟ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਦੇ ਇਲਾਵਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ ਡੋਮੈਸਟਿਕ ਵਾਇਲੈਂਸ ਦੇ ਇਲਾਵਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਦੇ ਕੇਸ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, they get one way or the other through district attorney's office. So having said that, coming to the national politics a little bit, ਕੱਲ ਸੋਮਵਾਰ finally electoral college ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ ਡਿਕਲੇਅਰ ਜੋ ਬਾਈਡਨ ਐਜ਼ ਦਾ ਵਿਨਰ। ਔਰ ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਮਿਚ ਮਕਾਨਲ, the majority leader of the Senate, finally congratulated Joe Biden. Congratulations on winning the election. ਸਵਾਲ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ ਭਈ politics, it is politics. This is where politics gets dirty. Okay. ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਪਈਆਂ, President Trump did everything to negate the votes, or majority votes ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਜੇ ਉਹ negate ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ minorities ਦੀਆਂ ਹੋਣੀਆਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀਆਂ ਸੀ। ਇੱਥੇ ਇੱਕ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਆ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵੀ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਦਾ, ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਸਟੇਟ ਦਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਹੈ, ਔਰ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਸਟੇਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਉਹ ਆਪਣਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਲਾਅ ਪਾਸ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੇ ਕੀ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਹੁਣ ਸਵਾਲ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਜਦ ਉਸ ਸਟੇਟ ਦੇ ਲਾਅ ਦੇ ਤਹਿਤ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਪਈਆਂ, ਔਰ ਉਹ ਸਟੇਟ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਜੇ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਵੀ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਫਰਾਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਇੱਥੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਕਿ ਬਿੱਲ ਬਾਰ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਕਹੀ ਆ ਕਿ he did everything for President Trump, even beyond anybody's imagination that how far he went, or ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕੁ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, he bent himself to accommodate ਜੋ ਵੀ President Trump was looking at. But finally ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨੇ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਕਹੀ ਵੀ he could not find any fraud in the voting, that was the last straw in their relationship, and he is going to step down as Attorney General as of December 23rd. ਔਰ ਇਹ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ੱਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਨਿਊਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੋਈ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਪਈ they mutually they met and decided to leave on that. ਸਵਾਲ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ he decided to leave on that, but ਸਵਾਲ ਇਹ ਸੀ ਕਿ Trump wanted him to leave and mutually they agreed ਕਿ ਠੀਕ ਆ instead of Trump firing him, he will submit his resignation. So which he did. Okay? So it's like the difference is getting fired from a job or resigning from a job. I'm pretty sure कि कई बंदे नाल ये होया होना है कि they tell you कि you are fired, or they give you an option कि either you resign, and if you will not resign within such and such time, then we will fire you. So ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ to submit ਆਪਣਾ firing or resignation, it works down the road, ਪਰ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਡੇਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਦ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇਹ ਜਾਣਨਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟ ਟਰੰਪ tried his best to stay in the White House. He lost every avenue. The last thing which he's trying right now कि जब कांग्रेस ने जाके और ratify करना होता है सारी वोटां नूं, उत्थे he's trying to get his Republican supporters to back him. ਹੁਣ ਸਵਾਲ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਆ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਹਾਊਸ ਆਫ ਰਿਪਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟੇਟਿਵਸ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਜੋਰਟੀ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਡੈਮੋਕ੍ਰੈਟਸ ਦੀ ਆ। As far as that is concerned, ਉੱਥੇ there is no way ਕਿ President Trump can get anything. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੈਨੇਟ। ਸੈਨੇਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਦੇਰ ਆਰ ਸੈਨੇਟਰਸ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟ ਟਰੰਪ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਸਮਝਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਕਿ ਭਾਈ ਯੂ ਲੋਸਟ ਦੀ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ, ਬਟ ਹੀ ਇਜ਼ ਰਿਫਿਊਜ਼ਿੰਗ ਟੂ ਐਕਸੈਪਟ ਦੈਟ। ਸੋ ਦੈਟ ਇਜ਼ ਦ ਲਾਸਟ ਪਾਰਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਜਨਵਰੀ 6 ਨੂੰ ਹੋਣਾ। ਜੇ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਸੈਨੇਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ, which I doubt at this point if it will come, but still it can come, he will not get the majority. The reason is that Mitch McConnell, who actually is the most shrewd politician among all the politicians in Washington DC, besides Nancy Pelosi, that they are going to, certify Joe Biden as a president on January 20th, come what? ਦੁਪਹਿਰ ਦੇ 12 ਵਜੇ 20 ਜਨਵਰੀ ਨੂੰ Joe Biden is going to take the oath of the office as a president of the United States. ਹੁਣ ਦੋ ਤਿੰਨ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਟਾਈਮ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਸਿਰਫ 2-3 ਮਿੰਟ ਰਹਿ ਗਏ ਆ, ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਹਾਂ। ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਅਗੇਨ ਇਟਸ ਨਾਟ ਗੋਨ ਯੈਟ, ਵੈਕਸੀਨ ਇਜ਼ ਹੇਅਰ, ਗੈਟ ਵੈਕਸੀਨੇਟਡ। ਇਹਦੇ ਚ ਜਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਭਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਲਾਓ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੱਕ ਆ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਵੈਕਸੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਵਾਵਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਨਾ ਕਰਵਾਵਾਂ, ਉਹ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਈਡੀਆ ਲਾ ਲੈਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਆ ਵੀ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟ ਟਰੰਪ ਵਾਂਟਡ ਦੈਟ ਵੈਕਸੀਨ ਸ਼ੁੱਡ ਬੀ ਇਨ ਦ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਬਿਫੋਰ ਦੀ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਦਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਦਾਰੋਮਦਾਰ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵੈਕਸੀਨ ਦੇ ਸਿਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜਿੱਤਣੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ। ਔਰ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਡੇਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ 3000 ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਬੰਦਾ ਐਵਰੀਡੇ ਮਰ ਰਿਹਾ, ਉਹਦਾ ਕਾਰਨ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟ ਟਰੰਪ ਨੈਵਰ ਸਟਾਪ holding the rallies by putting the peoples together and putting them into the harm's way. Yeah, there are people ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਮੇਰਾ show watch ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, they are going to say ਕਿ ਜੀ I am anti-Trump. I am not anti-Trump, I am anti his policy. ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ Joe Biden, if there are things which he is not doing right, I'm going to say about it. Like I always said ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ extreme right ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, the so-called democratic socialist of America, these are the people ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ demonstration ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਜਦ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ, they go in their cars to go there to demonstrate against what? Oil companies. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹੀ ਕੰਪਨੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਤੇਲ ਵਰਤ ਕੇ ਉਸੇ ਤੇਲ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫੂਕ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡੈਮੋਨਸਟ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਔਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਡਮ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ। There are always ways to communicate, always room to improve, but it doesn't mean that this is the way it should be. The way I said, how they do it, that is something I don't know. Maybe I don't understand. और दूसरी गल है ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਆਪਣਾ we are going through the Hanukkah, which is a Jewish holiday of light. And those friends of mine ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਯਹੂਦੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧਾਈਆਂ। ਔਰ ਅਖੀਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਿਫੋਰ ਆਈ ਕਲੋਜ਼ ਐਂਡ ਇਫ ਆਈ ਡੋਂਟ ਮੈਂਸ਼ਨ ਇਟ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫਾਰਮਰਸ ਦਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੈਸਟ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ, ਗੌਰਮੈਂਟ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਆ ਪੂਰੀ ਕਿ ਉਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੈਸਟ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਵੀ ਫਾਰਮਰਸ ਉੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚਣ ਨਾ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਕਿ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੋੜਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ। ਹੁਣ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਉਹ ਇਹ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਕੁਛ ਇੱਕ ਫਾਰਮਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਉਹ ਹੱਕ 'ਚ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ। ਕਿੰਨੇ ਫਾਰਮਰ ਹੱਕ 'ਚ? The government has so much power and money, they can pick up the person and tell the person to come and sit and say whatever they want that person to say. ਪਰ ਅਫਸੋਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਉੱਥੇ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਹੈਜ਼ ਕੰਪਰੋਮਾਈਜ਼ਡ। ਬਿਫੋਰ ਆਈ ਐਂਡ ਟੁਡੇ ਸ਼ੋ ਆਈ ਵਿਲ ਸੇ ਸਮਥਿੰਗ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਕੂਲ ਆਫ ਜਰਨਲਿਜ਼ਮ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ they teach you, what they say is if you are too friendly with the government then you are not impartial anymore, which means ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਛ ਇੱਕ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਗਲਤੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਖੋਂ ਪਰੋਖੇ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਔਰ ਉਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਆ ਉਹ ਕੋਈ ਤੀਜਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਭੁਗਤਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਭੁਗਤਾਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਆ। ਸੋ media should never be a friend with the government, but in India the media is a friend of government and doing whatever they are being asked to do। ਜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਤੇ ਨਾ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫਾਰਮਰ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਅੰਦੋਲਨ ਆ ਇਹ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਕਾਤੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਗੋਲੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਚੱਲ ਚੁੱਕੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਭਰਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਜਾਨਾਂ ਵੀ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ। ਪਰ ਐਟ ਦੀ ਐਂਡ ਆਫ ਦਾ ਡੇ everything ends up on the table। ਦੋਨੋਂ ਹੀ ਧਿਰਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ ਅੜੀਆਂ। there has to be some sort of compromise and they need to reach that compromise so that the life can move on। With that note, good night and good luck।